Chris Kyle was born in Odessa, Texas, 1974. Big sky country. A place where the horizon seems endless, and the spirit of the Wild West still lingers in the air. The vast landscapes and open skies shape the dreams of many young boys, and Chris was no exception. He grew up with dirt roads and the smell of leather. The scent of fresh hay and the sound of cattle lowing were as familiar to him as the back of his hand. Life on the ranch was tough but rewarding, and it instilled in him a sense of hard work and determination. His father, a deacon, taught him to shoot before he could read. The bond between father and son was strengthened with each lesson. Chris learned the importance of patience, precision, and respect for the tools he was given. These early lessons would become the foundation of his character. Hunting wasn't just a pastime, it was a way of life. The thrill of the hunt, the quiet moments of tracking, and the satisfaction of a successful shot were all part of his upbringing. It was during these times that Chris learned about responsibility and the circle of life. Chris learned to respect the land, the animals, and the power of a well-aimed shot. He was a natural. His father often marveled at his son's innate ability to handle a rifle with such ease and accuracy. It was clear that Chris had a gift, could drop a deer at 300 yards, didn't even flinch. His steady hand and sharp eye made him a formidable hunter, even at a young age. The pride he felt after each successful hunt was a testament to his growing skills and confidence. But Chris wanted more than just open fields. He craved adventure. The stories of cowboys and soldiers filled his imagination, and he yearned for a life beyond the ranch. The vast Texas landscape was his playground, but he knew there was a bigger world out there waiting for him. He dreamt of being a cowboy, a hero. The tales of bravery and heroism captivated him, and he often found himself daydreaming about the adventures he would one day embark on. With a lasso in hand and a cowboy hat on his head, he felt invincible. He'd spend hours reading about soldiers and their bravery. The stories of valor and sacrifice resonated deeply with him. He admired the courage and dedication of those who served, and he aspired to one day be like them. Books became his window to the world, and he devoured every story he could find. He knew he was destined for something bigger. The determination in his eyes was unmistakable. Chris Kyle was not just a boy with dreams. He was a young man with a purpose. The seeds of his future were planted in the rich soil of Texas, and he was ready to grow into the hero he always knew he could be. After high school, Chris became a ranch hand. He spent his days under the vast Texan sky, working tirelessly with cattle and horses. The ranch was his playground, and he learned the value of hard work and resilience. The sunburnt fields and the smell of leather became a part of him. He was a young man with a strong back and an even stronger will. Rodeo life called to him. He was tough, fearless, rode bulls and broncos. The adrenaline rush of the rodeo arena was intoxicating. The roar of the crowd, the dust kicked up by the hooves, and the sheer power of the animals beneath him made his heart race. He thrived on the challenge, the danger, and the glory that came with each ride. Broke bones, got back on. Each fall was a lesson in perseverance. He learned to pick himself up, dust himself off, and face the next challenge head on. Injuries were just part of the game, and he wore his scars like badges of honor. The rodeo was a test of his mettle, and he never backed down. He was living his dream, but something was missing. Despite the excitement and the accolades, there was a void he couldn't fill. He often found himself staring into the distance, searching for a deeper purpose. The rodeo was thrilling, but it wasn't enough. He yearned for something more, something that would give his life greater meaning. The call to serve his country echoed in his ears. He felt a stirring in his soul, a sense of duty that he couldn't ignore. The sight of the American flag waving in the wind filled him with pride and a desire to protect the freedoms it represented. He knew that his true calling lay beyond the rodeo arena. In 1999, Chris walked into a Navy recruiter's office. The decision wasn't easy, but it was one he felt compelled to make. The Navy offered him a chance to serve his country and to push himself in ways he had never imagined. It was a new challenge, one that promised to test his limits and forge him into something greater. He said, "I want to be a SEAL." The words were spoken with conviction, a declaration of his intent. He knew that becoming a SEAL was one of the toughest paths he could choose, but he was ready for it. The recruiter saw the determination in his eyes and knew that Chris had the potential to succeed. The recruiter looked at the lean Texan and saw that fire in his eyes. SEAL training was brutal. It was designed to weed out the weak and to push even the strongest to their breaking point. The recruiter knew that Chris would face unimaginable challenges, but he also saw the grit and determination that would carry him through, designed to break even the strongest. Chris endured. The training was grueling, both physically and mentally. He faced long days of intense physical exertion, sleepless nights, and relentless pressure. But he never wavered. Each obstacle was a test of his resolve, and he met each one with unwavering determination. He pushed himself beyond his limits. Every day was a battle against his own limitations. He learned to dig deep, to find strength he didn't know he had. The training pushed him to his breaking point, but he refused to break. He emerged stronger, more resilient, and more determined than ever. His natural marksmanship made him stand out. He had a steady hand and a keen eye, skills that set him apart from his peers. His ability to hit his target with precision and accuracy earned him respect and recognition. He was a natural, and his talents were quickly noticed by his instructors. He was born to be a sniper. The role suited him perfectly. It required patience, precision, and a calm under pressure that few possessed. As a sniper, he found his true calling. He was able to combine his natural talents with the skills he had honed through training, and he excelled. He had found his place, and he was ready to serve his country with honor and distinction. SEAL Team 3 was Chris's new family. He found his brotherhood in the grueling training, the shared danger. He excelled in every aspect of special warfare, but it was his skill with a rifle that made him a legend. Chris deployed to Iraq in 2003, Operation Iraqi Freedom. The desert was his new hunting ground. His job, protect his brothers, eliminate threats. He was a ghost, unseen, deadly. The stories of his shots spread like wildfire, over impossible distances, through swirling dust. He became a legend among both allies and enemies. They called him the Legend. He hated the name, he was just doing his job. But the weight of his actions pressed down on him. Every shot, a life taken, to protect his brothers, to save innocent lives. He carried that burden. He didn't talk about it. Section 5, Love in a Time of War. Between deployments, Chris found solace in the arms of Taya. She was his rock, his safe harbor in a storm. They fell deeply in love, got married, and started a family. But the war followed Chris home. Nightmares, flashbacks, survivor's guilt. He tried to push it down, bury it deep, but the memories haunted him. Taya was his constant, his reason to keep fighting. Section 6, The Scars of Battle. After 4 deployments, Chris retired from the Navy in 2009. 160 confirmed kills, 2 Silver Stars, 5 Bronze Stars, a legend. But the war wasn't over for Chris. It raged within him. He struggled to adjust to civilian life, the noise, the crowds, the lack of purpose. He felt lost, adrift. He drank to numb the pain, to silence the demons. Section 7, Finding Purpose Back Home. Taya encouraged him to seek help, to talk to someone who understood. He started working with other veterans, helping them cope with the invisible wounds of war. He wrote a book, American Sniper, his story, raw and honest. It became a bestseller. He didn't want glory. He wanted people to understand the sacrifices made by soldiers. Section 8, A Helping Hand for Heroes. Chris found his purpose again. He started a foundation to support veterans. He dedicated his life to helping his brothers in arms. He was a beacon of hope for those lost in the darkness. He knew the struggles, the pain. He wanted to show them there was a way back, a way to find peace. Section 9, A Tragic End, An Enduring Legacy. This chapter delves into the heartbreaking story of Chris Kyle, a man whose life was tragically cut short but whose impact continues to resonate. February 2, 2013, a Texas shooting range. It was a day like any other, but it would soon become a day etched in the annals of history for its tragic events. Chris was helping a fellow veteran battling PTSD. He believed in the power of camaraderie and support, dedicating his time to assist those who had served their country and were now fighting their own internal battles. He was shot and killed. The news sent shockwaves through the nation, leaving many in disbelief and sorrow. A hero had fallen not on the battlefield but in a place where he sought to bring peace and healing, a senseless act of violence. It was a stark reminder of the unpredictable nature of life and the ever-present dangers that lurk even in places of refuge. The nation mourned the loss of a hero. Tributes poured in from all corners with people from all walks of life expressing their grief and admiration for a man who had given so much. Chris Kyle was more than a sniper. He was a warrior. His skills on the battlefield were legendary, but it was his unwavering dedication to his comrades and his country that truly defined him. A husband, a father, a friend. To those who knew him personally, Chris was a loving family man, a loyal friend, and a pillar of strength and support. He dedicated his life to serving his country and his fellow veterans. His legacy lives on. Through his actions, both on and off the battlefield, Chris left an indelible mark on the lives of many, in the hearts of those he touched. His memory is cherished by those who knew him, and even by those who only knew of him through his deeds and his story. And in the fight to help our heroes return home, Chris Kyle's mission did not end with his death. His legacy continues through the ongoing efforts to support veterans, ensuring they receive the care and respect they deserve. His story is a testament to the enduring spirit of service and sacrifice.